Live.
All right. Hello,
Clap.
all. Welcome to this District 9 House debate. Today we have Infinite Kid, we have Robert Leary, and Robert Sanders, all running for the District 9 House seat, which is up for election soon. Robert Sanders is a former senator representing Caesarea. I'm not sure. I think I'm not sure about anyone else's titles, but okay, we'll just keep. Well, let's go with the introductions. Okay, we'll start with Robert Sanders, and then we'll go with Infinite, and then Robert Leary. Okay, Robert Sanders. What is? Start with your introduction.
Well, thank you, Matt. Thank you to Robert and Infinite for joining me at this debate. I'm glad that we can have this discussion and we were able to organize it so quickly. This is very important, and I'm very much looking forward to continuing this competitive race between so many people. As many of you may know, my name is Robert Sanders. I was the senator of Caesarea, representing this district and others in this state for 2 terms, for the past 2 terms. I was also a president for 3 terms. Um, and this state and others helped a large deal in getting me to that position. I've served in this House District position before. It was my first seat that I ever held, and I'm forever grateful and forever in debt to this district for launching my career and getting me to the place where I could end up running for president. Um, Unfortunately, I've seen throughout my time in the Senate, throughout my time in the presidency, leadership in this district uh, most of the time fail to meet the moment. Barring a couple of other examples of leaders who actually did meet the moment in this district, Jamie Riley and others, we have had failed leadership. We need to, moving into season 30, moving into potentially a new president, ensure that the change and the progress we made in my presidency, in Mr. Evans' presidency, and in President Fitzgerald's presidency are the changes are protected. That's what I'm going to do in the House. We're going to expand in those changes, and we're going to accomplish the healthcare change that we're going to get done. We're going to accomplish further immigration changes that the Speaker and I are going to work on those. We're going to get a lot of legislation done, but most importantly, we're going to fundamentally change the House of Representatives once again. The House of Representatives has failed to uh, meet and organize efficiently uh, in the chamber. It has failed to meet and organize efficiently the budget process and other processes that have to take place in the House. Under my and Speaker Uberfeld's leadership in the House, we will have a new House that has live um, House sessions weekly, at least weekly, hopefully bi-weekly, and the House will be much more efficient. And with leadership like that, it will encourage other members of the House who will gain their seats again because of uncompetitive races to really start engaging in the House. And then if they don't engage, then the people of their districts can put up another person to hopefully primary or combat them in their elections. This is
All
what we
right.
this is what we have to do for our district. And throughout this debate, I look forward to speaking on a number of issues and conversing with the 2 candidates here on what our visions are for the future of our district and what each and every one of us are going to do to progress our district even more than it already is. Thank you for letting me be here. I look forward to the discussion.
All right. I apologize. We will deal with timers later. For now, these
I was waiting
introductions
for
are
that
not
timer.
worth
I
time.
just kept going on until you
Yeah,
would
I,
tell me.
I will. Next time, I will. I don't think it would be fair for the other candidates to be timed for their introductions, so they're free
No,
to have a lot.
definitely not. No.
Yeah, so they're free to have their
But next
introductions.
time
But
stop me because when you don't if
yeah,
I'm not gonna
yeah.
I'm gonna keep going on if
For
you don't
this
stop me.
question, for the next question, we will. stop candidates. We will
So
stop candidates, and it will be timed for all candidates. Okay. The next introduction will go to Infinite.
okay, so thank you everyone for being here. Like if you don't know, I
Introduction,
was
so
the
they're
No,
free
former
to have
definitely.
general representing
yes,
Cesar.
so they're
I
free
was
to have
also the
their
Next time,
introductions.
former
But
stop me because when
first
you
and
don't,
second
if
yeah,
I'm not.
general gentleman of Cesar, and I was the former GOP vice chairman. So basically, I seen like in this district, and like I seen a number, like there hasn't been like a good representative, like, well, there have been a few, but there hasn't been good representatives. Like we need a representative who is strict, who is fair on who is fair, like basically on gun control. We need a man who will uphold and defend the Constitution. Like, and we also need we need someone who will stand up for like the common man and the citizen. We we need a representative who can get bills done, get stuff done, like propose the bills that District 9 needs. Like we like so that's it basically.
Robert
Done.
Leary. Robert Leary, please say your opening statement.
Growing up in the western part of Connecticut County in a small town is then going up to Vermont County and stuff. It was just this whole region is beautiful, and I knew I always wanted to serve the people here. Throughout my whole entire career, I in many different positions I have continued to do what's right for the people of Caesarea, and I hope to continue doing this. There are many different things that the people of Caesarea need to be fairly represented on that they aren't currently being right now. We need to bring the government back to the people because that's where it comes from, and we need to represent their concerns and do what's right for them. I would make sure whatever I do is truly what the people of Caesarea in our part of Caesarea want. We we are to represent them. We don't rep. They don't rep. We have, and I will make try to do my best to make the house the best that to make the house do the best that it can. I will try to find common sense solutions to many issues. On most issues, one both extremes are not good. You need to find some place in the middle, and I think and compromise is an important thing. So, and I think I can be the one to do that and find the best deal for the people of this district. That conclude. I'm done.
All right. Thank you, all the candidates. You've made amazing speeches. I really appreciate you coming on the stage and being brave enough to talk about this, talk about these issues. Okay, let's go move on to the second question, to a first question. Although the United States has dealt with the coronavirus in terms of a drug to cure it, how will you make sure as a House representative that the American economy and the public will recover from this pandemic, as there have been similar recessions that have gone on throughout time and throughout the United States, the time of the United States, and every government had to recover from it and make sure the American economy recovered. So how will you do that? We'll start with Infinite on that question.
True, I agree.
So basically, like it's about how to
You,
like deal with the
uh,
economy.
excuse
So
me,
so basic.
I apologize for interrupting, but all audience members must mute themselves. If is oh wait oh is yeah, all right. And we'll have a 2 minute timer. 2 minutes. You have 2 minutes to speak. Infinite. Starting now on the question that I asked.
So basically, how we get the economy back in shape? We like need to encourage many people to like encourage like job ads to like get people to like get jobs and stuff. We also need to we need to we need to cut payroll taxes for no hires, and we base you done.
Uh, Infinite, you will gain some time. David Perry, please mute yourself because he's speaking.
Okay.
Be polite.
So basically, we need to like get we need to like I guess we need to raise the taxes on we need to raise taxes on like on the rich like a little more like and like lower the but we're not gonna raise taxes on the middle class and that's gonna be stupid and like we need like we need to so basically we need to like bring just we basically need to bring jobs back to just nine in America to like improve the economy and like stuff like that. So do I stop talking
Yes, you
now
stop
because
talking
like
now. So, Mr. James Hiot, as you know, recently, the whole entire China intervening in different countries in South Asia
like
has been a big issue. So, how would you work with the administration to fully resolve this issue? And what do you think the administration should be doing? What would you do?
wait, what are we talking about
The
again? Like
situation
the
in Southeast Asia where China accused several governments in Southeast
oh yeah, that one thing. So basically, we need to like we need to we need to like do diplomatic relationships with like the we need to be strict on China, but so like we need to tell China to back off or something or do do peace like like diplomat for pieces we need to like wage peace with them if they won't back off like we need to be like strict but we need to be fair on China.
Okay.
Okay.
So, who were all the candidates in the race? Serious question. Like, is Robert Sanders?
Robert
Robert Sanders, Robert
Like,
Leary.
okay. Robert Leary. Who is he in the call?
Yes.
Oh, okay, okay. I did not know you were an actual person. Okay. Robert Leary. Same question to you. How would you address the issue in Southeast Asia?
Well, for China investing all this money in those countries to try to get them to align with them, clearly we need to counter that and do it ourselves. Because if we let them do if we let that all fall, we have no chance in this country. And we got to make sure our country stays the way it should be, strong. The current coronavirus pandemic clearly shows the weakness that we have with China. We depend too much on their manufacturing and stuff. We they could destroy our economy in one day if they wanted to, and that is not good. We need to do more as a country to prevent China from completely destroying the United States. We need a we need a strong need to make a strong economy, build our alliances across the world, and make sure that China does not take out all these countries. Well, they're just desperate for money. They're desperate, so we could just give them things ourselves. We just cannot let them fall. Nepal just elected our communist government. we can. That's an example of one almost falling to the Chinese. We cannot let the Chinese government spread itself across the world, because if we don't stop it now, it'll go too strong and we'll never be able to stop it.
Okay, thank you. Infinite, you will be kicked if you keep on doing that. Okay. Former President Roberto Sandoros, the guy who negotiated with terrorists. Why we would trust him as negotiating with China, I have no idea. But anyways, terrorist negotiator Robert Sanders, also known as Bobby Sanders. What is your plan to deal with China, and would it be better than your conduct with the terrorists when you negotiated with them?
Well, first of all, I
Whip
issue
or
no
whip.
I first of all I issue no apologies for killing every terrorist and saving every hostage in that
Yeah, you
situation.
negotiated with them.
I issue no
Harris
apologies
rule.
for using a three-dimensional strategy that resulted in killing every terrorist and saving every hostage. But first of all, with in terms of the Chinese situation, we need to continue to oppose China as a nation. I
Damn.
stand with the administration in terms of Secretary of State McKay and President Fitzgerald's initiatives moving forward to address sanctions, the transactions of property, visa permissions, exceptions and penalties, the South China Sea, the Belt Road Initiative, and further addressing in other drafts and initiatives being taken by the administration addressing re-education camps of the Uyghurs. Um, we should call them what they are: concentration camps. Counter investment in Africa and other small nations in Southeast Asia, which I can agree with Robert Leary on. We need to start investing in these nations that have been exploited by powerful supranations for so long, exploited by powerful multinational corporations for so long. It's time that the United States government says that we stand with these nations, not just to exploit your resources, but to make sure that you can also participate in a 21st century global economy and grow your country out of poverty and make sure that your people are not living in favelas stuffed on top of each other. And to address the coronavirus question, this is intrinsically a part of the coronavirus question. Economic inequality uh, is what breeds pandemics. When you have people living in squalor, uh, millions of people living in favelas and squalor in Brazil and Southeast Asia and others, uh, that is what breeds disease. That's what, excuse me, that's what breeds these wet markets that created the coronavirus in the first place. We need to address this. We need to address uh, and China is stepping ahead of the curve on us in terms of investing on these nations. So I stand with the administration in investing in counter investing in these nations. But as a member of the House, I would ensure the people of House District 9 that I would make sure that any budgetary matters that happen in terms of investing in China come through the House and are addressed in a way that actually deals with, that makes sure that the money that we're investing in those nations actually deals with the issues that the people of those nations are facing. Because a lot of the time when the United States gives foreign aid, it goes to the dictators running those countries. We're also going to address the Chinese question of debt trapping of other nations, tariffs, and creating the IMF in MEC. We're going to sue China because of their actions regarding the coronavirus and their inaction of alerting the global community. Um, this is what a bold and progressive future looks like for the Democratic Party. And while I'm running as an independent now in this race, I have full confidence that the Democratic Party will once again embrace me once elected. I will be caucusing with the Democratic Party because it's time for the progressive movement to end the quarrels we've had with the moderates and really move forward to actually make progress. And whether that be on the coronavirus issue or opposing Chinese authoritarianism uh, and the growth of that authoritarianism worldwide, that is what we need to do. I have the experience to go into the job firsthand, sit on the Foreign Relations Committee in the House, and get this work done. I hope that you'll give me the opportunity to do that. Thank you.
No, several things about what you said, Robert. First of all, whenever you said
First of all,
stand,
moderators aren't supposed to correct. First of all, moderators aren't supposed to A, put personal bias on the questions, or B,
Personal.
correct the candidates unless it is a blatant lie,
okay,
which none of that.
okay. So, as former president representatives, here's the thing. So first of all, whenever you said stand, I think stand would be a more appropriate word. Second of all,
I
is
take
anyone
that note
like
into
them?
consideration.
Okay, thank you. And then, second of all, do you think the world would have less poverty if you would have done more to stop terrorism while you were president?
I think that I reject the premise of that question.
Damn.
I reject the premise of that question. I think the world is better off after my presidency, in terms of the international agreements we put in place.
According to Great
I think that domestic poverty is better off after my term, in terms of the domestic poverty
Breakfast.
initiatives that we put in place,
Right?
and and most of all, I think the world is in a better place because of the New Deal, or the what is it called? The New Dawn Deal and the International New Dawn Deal, written by President Fitzgerald and myself, that addressed world poverty in the biggest way ever done in this community, which greatly helped world poverty. So I reject the premise of your question, but uh, my administration did more than almost any, barring the Evans administration and potentially the Uberfeld administration, to address domestic poverty and world poverty. And I'm very much proud of that. My record, not just in the presidency, but in the Senate and in the House, and in when I was a private citizen, on addressing that issue. So I reject the premise of your question, but very proud of my record on addressing poverty in the country and worldwide.
Okay. Next question. Uh, this one will go to Robert Leary. Robert Leary, what's your number one goal legislatively to accomplish if you do get elected to the House? Okay.
My number one goal as legislation to get passed
Mhm.
would be a, a law to make our healthcare system better, since that's destroying so many people's lives every day when they go bankrupt. I think what we need a system that is similar to the ones used in a lot of European countries, but we cannot get rid of private insurance totally, because if it has a complete monopoly, it just get worse and worse. So it needs to have a little bit of competition to remain good. But at the same time, people's people living or dying should not be a business. You should
So just to
healthcare
clarify, okay, no.
healthcare is important. You can't. But at the same time, even though I said that, it still is, because everything is. So it's both, but it's such an important necessity, and the state provides other things like fire department, police, are and many other things. So why not this?
Okay, that's your time. I'd like to have one quick follow-up question. Please answer this. And well, no more than one sentence, please. Are you advocating for Medicare for all for those who want it, or a public option? Like, which direction do you want to go towards?
Public option.
Okay. Uh,
Is that to all candidates?
yeah. I was just about to ask you, Robert, Bobby. Okay, Bobby. Do you think that Americans would be more healthy if you didn't negotiate?
I swear to God, if that's the real question,
Damn.
Okay. The real question is, wait, what was the question I asked Robert Leary? Oh yeah, what's your number one what's your number one priority besides negotiating with terrorists?
okay, you gotta stop that first of all. Let's not fight at all,
Yep.
especially in the debate format. Maybe in a Meg call, but not in the debate format. My number one priority as a representative would be not. I don't like questions like this. Number one priority seems a little bit like a fallacy to me. No one goes into a job, like a representative, like a senator, like the presidency, and thinks, "Here's my number one priority." Or at least I didn't. That's not
Let me
how.
rephrase it. Let
Hold
me
on.
rephrase it.
Let me answer.
Um,
I'm answering the question.
uh,
I'm answering the question. Hold on. Calm down. Calm
uh,
down. What I do when I enter the job, and the first thing that I do when I enter the job, is think, what is the best thing I can do at this moment for my constituency? At this moment, the best thing I think I could do for my constituency is, like Robert Leary, make sure that we pass healthcare reform in this country, expanding on Ubi care. While ideally I support the Medicare for all single payer system, working with a more moderate president in terms, excuse me, in terms of healthcare, you have to make compromises. So we've made a compromise. We've implemented a transition plan into the Medicare for All plan, and we will be passing that uh, if I'm elected into the House. Some members of this community in the Senate and the House have tried to block this legislation. Uh, if I'm once again in Congress, that will not be the case. The Speaker and I and other members of the House will work every day to ensure that that legislation does not get blocked yet again. And I think that my legislative experience will be very useful and beneficial to this fight in terms of getting it done, um, because we need someone who can actually stop it from getting filibustered in the Senate or stopped. And we have very little time to get this done. We've been waiting a long time for healthcare reform, as Mr. Leary pointed out, and we can't just, as Democrats, we can't just keep running on Ubi Care. It's time to run on the accomplishment of finally expanding Ubi Care and moving forward to other issues. And then later on, we can start discussing a Medicare for all single payer system. But I think for now we must stick with what the administration, the speaker, and other members of the healthcare council came up with, the perfect plan, the perfect plan for this moment, and we need to pass that. And if there was to be a first priority, even though I have many, it would be that.
Okay. And then, of course, the Honorable James Hiat, who Breitbart does endorse for this election. What is your number one priority for this election?
What do
I
you
mean,
mean
it's
by?
not, let me rephrase. What is your number one priority if elected?
My number one priority is to like get the economy back in shape and to bring jobs back to District 9.
Can I get a rebuttal to that?
No, James Hiat, can you please go into more detail?
Huh?
Can you please go into more detail?
So basically, we need to like bring more jobs by basically like cutting payroll taxes and like spending on like interest rates and stuff. Like, I mean, cutting. Like, wait a second. Like cutting the interest rates to like, yeah, cutting interest rates.
Can I get a rebuttal to that?
No.
Well, I'm just going to start speaking. Look, this is the problem with some of the candidates at the Republican. I'm not going to attack directly for this question, at least,
I
Mister.
think you are.
No, I'm not going to attack you directly, but I am going to attack the Republican Party in this for this question.
No, we're moving on.
This is the problem with the
No,
Republican
we're
Party.
moving on.
They put up
We're-
candidates that don't understand the full extent of how the budget works, or how the economy works, or how jobs are created or
Damn.
destroyed. And we need representatives in Congress, no matter your political ideology, who do understand
This is
this.
about to get
I don't
political.
have a doubt that Mr. Leary understands this, but I do have a doubt that Mr. Infinite Kid understands it himself. I have a
You
doubt.
just-
I
hey,
have a
listen.
doubt. I have
He's-
a doubt that Mr. Infinite Kid and the Republican Party, I have a doubt that he could effectively do the job. I really think this is so serious uh, to the people of House District 9. They require representatives in Congress who are actually going to get the job done, and we need to do that by actually getting it done. Uh, I was removed from the chat. Uh, hold on. Wow. Okay, we're gonna fix this. We're gonna fix this. We are gonna. Um. Okay, so don't worry. See, this is why you don't have Infinite running for elections. He should be banned. This man should be banned. He kicks people from every chat. He creates stupid ass chats with everybody, and he's just not to be trusted. Do that again, I
Whoops.
swear to God, Infinite Kid.
I did it on accident.
No, I did it on accident. Fucking stupid ass piece of shit.
For you, I thought you were out, actually.
Well, this was the debate intermission, I guess.
What does that mean?
See, you don't even know what intermission means.
This one has to check 9 stat. Why? Why? Oh
I
my
was
god.
calling.
What guys?
I added Robert Leary to this chat, so he should be
Kill
joining.
me. Other stat. Finesse.
So yeah, kids. That's the debate for now.
Hero.
No, it's not.
Okay.
The debate,
Well, Infinite Kid gave me-
unless you concede the debate.
Not conceding anything.
Yeah, basically. So basically, Infinite Kid asked me to ask a question to everyone, all the candidates. So I'll start with you, Robert Sanders. Are you a crook?
I am not a crook. No.
Oh, really? Do you know who else said they aren't a crook?
Nope.
Do you know who else said they're a crook, Robert? Richard Nixon, and he was kind of a crook. Okay.
Well, this
So
debate is over. Sheriff Yimby is not invited to the View.
true.
Infinite is
Wait, come
not
on, Robert.
Infinite is not
Robert.
invited to the View. Thank you for
Robert, you're
joining. And
What the hell is the view, bruh?
this
yeah,
debate
Robert.
clearly showed who was the best candidate. Thank you for joining.
This
Tune
debate.
in,
That was Robert.
Who
That
is
was
tune in
Robert.
in a couple of minutes to see Meg the View on CBS.
To be me, with you.